Ah. What the hell is that? Looks like an ant just ran over the board and pissed out a raisin or something. Hello, hello, hello. I can see you. Wait, no, we can't. See, this means the NSA can't see you. This is a computer that will never need tape over the laptop webcam, let me tell you that. Because if we were to go over what that missing IC does in the schematic, you will see that there will never be a webcam again on this computer. This is the anti-NSA oh, God damn it. Showing the wrong screen. We're showing the wrong screen. Display capture. Capture my other screen. Damn, stick to it. So this is U3900 over here. We're going to have to do the same thing down here as well. Why do I have two different display captures? That's dumb. That should be the same display capture for both. I can't believe I have two display captures. That's absolutely dumb. Okay. So as you can see, U3900 is cam. So if you're trying to use this laptop to, like sell, what is it that person was selling? I mean, using to get paid in.
What?
Remember the tissue girl?
Oh yeah. Wait,
What was the currency?
no, she was paying in US dollars.
Okay, what did it say?
Oh, crap, I can't remember.
Tokens. Yeah, it was tokens. Yeah, so if you get paid in tokens, then this computer's not for you anymore. If you get paid in tokens, you can't get paid off of this because you're missing U3900, if you know what I mean. So that's missing. Let's continue on around the board and see what else is gone.
I don't know, but we definitely just violated something.
Yeah. 50 tokens for a piece of tissue that came from my armpit. Oh my god. Thanks for the shipping. It arrived fast. I'm super excited to try out the flux, but I've not had time yet. I'm glad that you actually received it. So if we look around the board, it doesn't look that bad. It's still got a JTAG on it, which it shouldn't, but I think that JTAG can be forgiven. I think that JTAG could be forgiven. Now if we were to just... Alright, so let's see what this thing does. Let's plug it in and get started. I know I should get started by removing the JTAG connector. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's just turn on the multimeter, get it into RS-232 mode. Come on, connect. Are you connected? You're kind of connected. Let's see. Oh, you're dead. You need a new battery. I've been using you for 2 weeks. You need a new fucking battery? Are you kidding me? Can I just hook 9 volts up to this from like the power supply or something? This is bull. Oh, god damn it. I gotta get a battery. Oh man. I gotta come back and get a battery. Let me just put a note on the chair that says getting a battery, and that will be right back.
you're gonna run away when they see you with that on.
Yeah, I have a battery, a wireframe mic around my head, and black gloves.
Don't walk by the Medina.
Don't walk by the... All right, we're back. We're back with a battery. All right, I got to install a battery in my meter so we can figure out what's going on. Buy a DC adapter. The thing is, I want to do that, but every time I end the stream, I wind up going to get food, and then I forget to buy an adapter. And that's probably going to happen for like 1 or 2 years before I actually get an adapter. That's the way this usually works. So let's get the battery into the multimeter. What? Buy an adapter. Yep. One of those things. One of those things. I'll do it someday. Okay. It's really not the money, it's the forgetting. I can hear this thing clicking actually. All right. Old 9-volt out. New wet 9 volts from me opening the pack in the rain with impatience in. I'm sure that'll be fine. These batteries can get, this can get water on it, right? It don't care. Yeah, it'll be just fine. Professional. Professional. What happened to your blue meter from EV blog? I still have that meter, it's just it doesn't have USB output. So I'm using this one because with this meter, I can do that magical thing where I show you the results on the screen, which is pretty cool. Fuck. Did I install the battery? I think I installed the battery in properly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I installed the battery wrong. Oh, that's pretty dumb. Yeah, let's fix the... Okay, let's try to get the kindergarten shit right first. So this is the battery. Whoa. That's not a good sign. This smells really bad. We may be back to the old system shortly. Let's see, what if I just hold the battery manually before I bother screwing it in? I got this plugged in the right way, surely. Yeah, that was the right way. Okay, this lasted all of a month, and now it's dead. Okay, rest in peace, Tech Power. You're going back to Amazon. Fucking piece of shit. And get the piece of shit. All right, back to the old system. Back to the old system. You gotta trust me now. Alright. Whoa. Does this one not have a battery in it either?
You're not stealing my EV block meter.
Seriously? You took the batteries from my Fluke? Well, fuck. Wait, let's see. Because I just bought a battery. This had better use... And of course, this uses different batteries. You've got to be kidding me. Did you steal the batteries from this?
I don't think so.
Don't you?
Alright.
Let's see. Wait, but
I'm sad.
why? How is this dead too?
Is that the plus or the regular one?
The 15B plus.
Oh, what? That's not. There's no way that's dead.
When was the last time you replaced the batteries in this one?
Sometime this year.
Sometime. Yeah, that's recent. That's like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
It's not like we use this very often.
Yeah. That's sad.
All right, so we're one multimeter. Okay, let's see if this one turns on. Let's see if the Dave meter turns on. Hey, the Dave meter turns on. Oh man, what a waste of $50. What a waste of $50. Fucking piece of shit. All right, where were we? Yeah, fall over. Sigh. All right, back to the drawing board. So let's plug this in and see what happens. So I'm going to plug it in, and we're going to go over to the power rails page on the schematic, which is going to be on page 60-something. 60, and Retina 13-inch OS locks up with wall chargers, behaves fine on battery. No idea. I hope my tech power lasts longer than yours. Also, an adjustable wrench makes a great iPhone motherboard repair clamp. That's good to know. All right, so we have a list of rails over here. And thank you to Footkiller. So we're going to check each rail at a time, and I'm going to read out the voltages to you because my system don't work. It lasted all of a week. All of 2 weeks about. So PP bus G3 hot is going to be the first one. PP bus underscore G3 hot. Underscore G3 hot. And I'm going to read the voltages to you, and you're just going to have to trust me. We're going to be working on the truss system over here because I don't have a meter reader. So this is 8.6 volts. Now this tells me two things. One, that the power rail is present. The second thing it tells me is that my SMC is running. Keep in mind, the SMC is going to talk to the chip that makes PP bus G3 hot. Excellent. It's going to talk to the chip that makes PP bus G3 hot, and it's going to tell it to go from 8.1 to 8.6 volts. So if the SMC is dead, that doesn't happen. Now I also know that I have PP3 Vcore 2 because I got the green light in my charger. And as you'll know from all my streams in the one-wire circuit, I can't do that for you, I'm afraid. That always reminds me of HAL 9000. I can't make the multimeter appear on the screen, Lewis. Only I will appear on the screen now. Yeah, that thing freaks me out. After I watched the movie with HAL 9000 as a kid, I didn't sleep for a week. Like, I had this red night light that I had ever replaced with a blue one. Every time I heard a noise outside the window, I'd wake up and scream. But, yeah. So PP3 Vcore 2 is going to be present. PPDCN, I know PPDCN G3 hot is there. I got to change my shortcuts in OBS. I know that PP bus G3 hot. I know that PP3 Vcore 2 is there because I got the green light, which means you need the PP3 Vcore 2 to get the green light in the charger because that's what powers the SMC in the one-wire circuit. Let's check PPVRTC G3 hot. We're just going to go down the list of the rails here. And we're going to continue on the honor system. PPVRTC G3 hot is 3.38 volts. I have a laptop that works fine when I turn it on, but when I close the screen and reopen it, it goes to static. Is it the GPU, display, or connector? That's a question that you can answer because you have it in front of you and you can replace those things and troubleshoot them. But I can't because I'm like 3,000 miles away from you and have no way to measure anything or test anything. So that's on you. I'm sure if you research, you'll find an answer to your problem. All right, next rail, PP5VS5. PP5VS5. Gonna continue down the list here. Lewis, what is that drink? It's some blueberry thing. It tastes really good. It's a good shake. It's a quality shake. We've got 5 volts, and it's steady. PP5VS4RS3. This is the one that's always missing because PM Sleep S4L is missing. This is usually the nightmare. We're going to see how this one... Let's see. If you're present, then I'm going to have a smile on my face. My Aero 14 is finally back. Got it 519. Are you ever going to buy another gigabyte? Be honest now. 5.15. Hey! Okay. We got a chance here. PM Sleep S4L ain't missing. All right. PP5VSO. Now this... If I have this, then I don't have to check a lot of them. Shame on people buying their way to be a mod. I'll happily sell mod. It wasn't like something I planned to do. It's just somebody asked, and it's like, fine. I'm shameless like that. All right, so we're going to go on to the next, which is PP5VSO, which I can measure right over here. I choose to measure right over here. And here's the way this works. In order to have S4 rails, all the S5 must be present. In order to have S5, G3 hots must be present. In order to have S3s, S4s must be present, and so on and so forth. So, if we have an SO rail, then I can assume that all the S3s, S4s, and S5s are there. And as you can see here, as you can now see here, I have my SO rail. This is so low tech. This is lame. I need to get my tech power back. As you can see, I'm in an SO state. So why am I not turning on? Now this means that I don't have to check all the S5s, the S4s, the S3s. And you may ask, why didn't you just check the SO first? If the SO is present, you wouldn't have to check the G3 hot, the S5, the S4, the S3s. And you're right, but I try to walk people through things. So since I have an SO, I can assume that all my S3s, S4s, and S5s are there. S5s are the rails that are going to be present when the machine is off. S4s are the rails that are going to be present when it's hibernating. In order to hibernate, it needs to have all the rails that will be present when it's off. S3 is going to be when it's sleeping or in suspend mode. And in order to have that, you need everything that would be present for the hibernation or when it's off. And when you're in SO, those are the rails that are present when it's on and actively working. So for an example, the RAM may be an S4 or an S3 rail. Actually, the RAM may be an S3 rail because you have the RAM on when you're sleeping. The CPU is going to be an SO rail because that's on when the computer is actively being used. When you close the lid of the laptop, the memory, the contents of whatever you have open, that's going to be saved to the RAM, so you need the S3 rails to be on, but you don't really need the CPU to be on. There's no point to that when you close it, so that would be an SO rail. Now, even if the laptop is off and not in suspend or hibernate, you would still want it to charge. That's going to be a G3 hot or an S5 rail. Those are going to be at the bottom of the pyramid. So think of it like a pyramid. So you got like your G3 hots, your S5s, your S4s, your S3s, and then your SOs at the top of the pyramid. All right, so... Did you see my Instagram? Walmart is selling ICs. That is totally you trolling and selling on Walmart, and you're probably paying a 15% fee for that. So now all I have to do is check my other SOs to see what's not present. And most commonly, what's going to not be present is going to be CPU Vcore. So we're going to check CPU Vcore because that is an SO rail, as you'll see here. Jessa from iPad Rehab is here now. Jessa the troll is here. So CPU Vcore rails, PP VCC SO CPU. So let's see where I can measure that. And let's see if that's turning on. Somewhere on the top should be an easy place to measure it. Oh boy. Alright, so... yeah, so I can measure it on this current sensing resistor over here. Which is right by the heatsink. Bonus points if I don't short CPU Vcore to grounds with my unsteady hand. But who are we kidding? You know who you're dealing with here. So we're going to measure right over here. And I get 0.049 volts. So let me just show you on the screen here, because just in case you don't believe me, we get 0.049 volts. Now that doesn't seem like CPU Vcore to me. That's definitely not correct. That's not proper. Jessa from 4chan, yes. By the way, if you go to Jessa iPad Rehab's channel, I shouldn't be doing this. Just out of I probably shouldn't be doing this. I really shouldn't be doing this. Okay, so what you could do here, so this is Jessa's channel, right, at her home screen. Now what you could do is you could scroll down, and as you'll see Bailey Burdett from Poll, which is a 4chan group called Poll. And I'm guessing that that's what this stands for. But just in case that's not it, you can actually click on it, and you can click his videos and try to link him to 4chan's Poll group, just to see if he's ever seen it before. Because I'm pretty sure that's what Jessa meant when she told him to put Poll in his channel description. So, and I think that there's a point in life at which every kid needs to be introduced to 4chan, and I think he's probably about at that age. So just throwing that out there. But continuing back to where we were. So CPU Vcore is missing. So how is CPU Vcore made? This is an interesting question because it often changes with different machines. So let's see PPVCC SO CPU Vcore. Oh no, it wasn't that. It was what was the name of the rail? First thing I got to do is get out of this stupid mode where it keeps full screening my PDF reader because that's incredibly frustrating. All right, so let's go to page 63. I believe that's where they have all these. PPVCC SO CPU. If I've told Jessa once, I've told her 1,000 times. Make your subscriptions and liked videos private. No, I don't lock my doors. I would never lock my doors. I'm not a door locker like you. I trust the goodwill of mankind. Oh, silly. Okay. Silly. I need to log into her account and make this here. I need to add her account as a private. Anyway, so I'm using Sumatra PDF Reader, which is an excellent PDF reader. So this is a buck converter where it's going to take the 8 volts from PP Bus G3 hot, and it's going to split it up and up and up into little chunks, into 8 and 0, 8 and 0, 8 and 0, until it averages itself out to something like 1. Around 1, 1.7, 1.5, whatever the hell it is, depending on what you're doing with the computer. So we're just going to scroll up 1, and this is the chip that is controlling this one. As you can see, the signals that go into here, into all of these, are going to be like CPU, VR, PWM1, and whatnot, are going to go up here, and up here, up. This is going to shoot those out here, right? So, what is going to turn this on? CPU, VR, EN. CPU, VR, EN. CPU, VR, EN. Where does that come from? That comes out of the CPU. Now, this is one of those interesting times. This is one of those interesting times where you may want to bang your head against the wall. So the CPU needs Vcore to work, but in order to get Vcore, it needs to output a signal, which means that it has to be turning on. I mean, This used to get me. This honestly used to fuck with me, and this used to confuse the hell out of me. So let's work backwards from a point where I figured out that you need all sys power good in order to get CPU Vcore, and work our way up from there. This actually makes no sense compared to the older machines. I can't figure out where the link is between all-sys power good and the CPU turning on. But I do know that all-sys power good needs to be present based on older machines. So let's see. How is it that I know that? Because I don't want you to just do something because I tell you to. I want you to do it because it makes sense. And I can't particularly figure out what that is. Here we go. Okay, so now what I did is I opened a schematic to an older device here. This is a schematic to a 2012 machine. And as you can see, there's a page that says CPU Vcore enable. And all system power good sits between this resistor that then goes to CPU IMVP VR on, which is going to turn on the CPU. And as you can see, CPU virtual reality on. So and over here it says EN. And I would assume that EN means enable. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually just applying knowledge that I had from working on an older board to the newer one. But on the newer one, I genuinely don't know where all system power good has a relationship to CPU Vcore. Like, if somebody could point this out to me, that would be great. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't get it. All it does is it goes into the CPU JTAG isolation thingy. I guess maybe it's not turning. Maybe it has something to do with this. Much more confusing than it was in the past. I'll be honest. Yeah, let's see. So here we go. This is what's important. So all system power good and PM sleep S3L, that's what's required to get into SO state, are required in order for you to get CPU VCCST power good on output. And let's see where this goes. VCC power good going into... Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I got no idea. I probably wouldn't have been able to come to that conclusion quickly with the newer schematic versus the old one. With this one, it was very simple. With this schematic, it was very simple. You could clearly see in the older design how you needed all sys power good in order to get CPU Vcore, and it literally says right here. So this is going to be getting a little harder with time, and this is where you just kind of have to build upon the knowledge that you got from troubleshooting the old devices and use it to troubleshoot the new devices when you're a little bit clueless. Because I jumped to that conclusion just because I knew it in the past to be true. So let's check and see if we have all sys power good on this board. I'm going to check and see if we have all system power good on this motherboard, because I don't think we do. So let's go over to my board view software that was made by the amazing Paul Daniels. I got a link to him in the description. But if you haven't been here since the Landrex days and you're wondering how I can scroll and see every point and like just like if I click over here, watch this. If I click over here, it shows me everywhere that shows up. This is the magic of Paul Daniels and his amazing software and his dedication to producing all of this for nothing. So thank you to Paul. And so I'm going to click here, and this is where all system power good is. So we're going to turn on my meter. Dave's meter is the last one to survive at this dump of a store. This is genuinely the last meter to survive at the shithole that I call an office that I work out of. And we're going to take a look at that area. So let's take a look at that area, and we're going to measure and see if all sys power good is there. Hey, it looks like all sys power good is 0 volts. I'm getting a good old 0.019. And hey, what do you know here? This is one of those things that Jessa would have probably noticed in the first minute. That took me how long into the stream? Let's see. Okay, it took me 31 minutes and 11 seconds to notice something that Jessa probably would have noticed without unscrewing the board from the machine, because I am a fucking idiot. Yeah, I always notice Jessa always goes over the physical stuff. The funny thing is I actually did do a sweep of the board. I did a complete sweep of the board, and I totally missed that. That's dumb. That's fucking dumb. If Jess is here, she's probably laughing her ass off at how stupid I am. Okay, so let's see what that resistor is actually for. And it's probably the reason that this doesn't work, because I'm an idiot. Okay, we're going to scroll up on the board view software here, and that is R8155. So let's replace this really quickly and hope that Jess is not still watching and laughing, which she probably is. I'm going to go to R8155 in the schematic. I'm going to go back to the schematic for the newer Air. And let's check this out. Let's see, what does this section do? So what this section over here does, let's just make it full screen. Going to make it full screen. And what this does is, if you have PP5V-SO, PP3V3-SO, PP3V3-S5, and PP1V5-SO, you get all sys power good. So if you have these four, you'll get this. Now you also need some other signals to get all. You need DDR reg P good, PP1V05-SO P good, PP5OS4RS3 P good, PV1V8S3 P good. And I actually missed this section, believe it or not. Like, here's the funny thing. Here's the other fucked up part of this schematic here. So check it out. So this is the circuit that gets used, right? This is the one that's used in the production version. This one is not used. This was never put on the board. It's all no stuff, right? But this over here that's connected to the fucking no stuff circuit is there. So for the longest period of time, I thought that this section over here was not used, and that sucks. That really sucks. Because I didn't even notice that I needed those. But you do actually need all these. So if all these signals are present, and if all these are present, you'll get all sys power good. And if R8155 is not present, then I'll get nothing at pin 1, which means that this is not going to work. So let's just, I wonder if I can reattach that. And can stand jump cutted Eli. Huh. I don't know what Eli's doing. Guess he's trying new stuff for ratings and whatnot. So should I replace that resistor, or should I just solder it back on? Because as you can see here, it's kind of looks like the pad on the board is damaged. Not the pad, but the entire trace actually looks pretty fucked up. This doesn't look well at all. Oh, man. Okay, just solder it back down, somebody says. Replace it, somebody says. All right, I got my new micro pencil tips, since all my micro pencil tips are kind of fucked now. So I'm kind of excited I'll be able to test and use them. Actually, I may not on this one, just because this one may work with a smaller micro pencil tip. So most of the votes seem to be for repeal and replace. Oh, man. I'm pretty... I don't know. That resistor looks fine to me. I wouldn't say that resistor is bad just because some meanie decided to knock it around. I would say that soldering is awful. But, I mean, whose channel are you on, really? You know whose channel you're on. You know whose channel you're on. You know that soldering is going to be shit. Man, if you wanted good soldering, you would have went to, like, somebody else's channel. So we're going to put that back on with the wrong tip using the wrong iron, because that's what we do here. We like to torture ourselves for fun. And I'll just hot air it down because it'll, well, what else am I going to do? It's not like I can plug hot tweezers into an FX951, and hell if I'm spending money on a FM203. I could get an FM202, but that thing's a real abortion. Like, I mean, Who the fuck would decide to put the high... Like, seriously. You have a station, right? Who would put the power button in the back of the station? I mean, really, you have a choice. Put the power button on the front or on the back. And they put the power button on the back. And whoever designed that at Hacko just hates people. You have to hate people to put the power button on the back. That's just really mean. That's incredibly mean. I don't understand why anybody would ever do that. It's just a really douchebag thing to do. That's a fucking douchebag thing to do. Can you test the resistor first? Absolutely. If I put it back on the board and then it powers on, then that will have been my test for the resistor. That is how you test the resistor. You put it back on, and if it works, then it's tested good. And if it doesn't work, then it's tested bad. That is how we do. And because I don't trust that trace at all, because it looks like shit, I'm going to put a little bit of a reinforcing jumper wire there, just to make it nice again. So let's get a little bit of a jumper wire, and make that look all nice. We're going to make that a beautiful trace. Whoops, I put out too much semen over there. There's some excess semen on that pad. Ugh. And we're going to run a little jumper. Nice little jumper wire. Same guy who put the car battery in the wheel well in the Dodge Intrepid. I wish I knew enough about cars to understand why that's dumb. But I will take your word for it that it's dumb. Alright. You ready to watch some bad soldering? I think you are. I think you are. Ah, shit. Yep. That's... Okay. Sometimes I wonder if it would be best if retirement came sooner rather than later. Okay, so we've got my little jumper. And that's gonna go to here. And then maybe, what the hell, I'll just run it all the way to the chip itself. And you can barely see that. So let me just turn the light down. You still can't see that because of all the flux reflections. So I'm gonna blow that away in a second. This way you'll be able to see. Does it get hot in the room because of hot air? No, because I can open the window, I can use air conditioning. There are many things that I can do to combat that. How can you measure resistance when it's in circuit? I measure resistance in circuit because if I take the resistor off the board and then try to touch two probes to it, it will fly away and I'll never see it again. So if I measure it in circuit, I will get an accurate reading, but if I measure it out of circuit, I not only get no reading, but I also lose the resistor. So it's one of those things where you have to compromise. So here's the way this works. In circuit, you're never going to get a higher measurement as a result of measuring the resistor, because it's in parallel with other things. The whole concept is that since it's in parallel with other things, it'll change the measurement. So the measurement across the resistor cannot be lowered. I can't get a lower resistance across this resistor. I mean, I can't get a higher resistance across this resistor because of shit in the circuit, but I can get a lower resistance. So, let's say I'm expecting this to be 10 kiloohms, and I measure it and it's 80 kiloohms, that means the resistor is bad. Now, if I measure it and the resistance is lower, it still could potentially have a problem, but it doesn't necessarily, because something else in the circuit around it could be shorted, but it's not guaranteed. Whereas if I get a resistance way higher, it's guaranteed to be bad. And again, if I try to take that resistor off of the circuit, what's going to happen is it's going to fly away, and I'll never see it again. Similar to the girl I asked out for the junior high school prom in 2002. And that's no good for anybody. So I'm going to plug this back in and see if we get also this power good and also a fan spin, and that'll be my measurement of the resistor. Son of a bitch. No fan spin. Spin, you bastard. Spin. Okay. Let's see if I at least get ALSYS power good or CPU Vcore. I saw what Jessa said, and if anybody comes by for a hug, you're gonna get that. You're not gonna be happy. You won't be happy. Let's see. So we get the exact same crap on CPU Vcore that we did before. So let's check around this resistor area for our measurements. Now remember, this resistor sits between PP1VS, 1V5, and the all-system power good chip. And when I do this, I get 1.5 volts in the meter. But when I check for all system power good, I get 0.087 volts, which is no good. Which means we may still have some other breakage in that area, or the chip itself may be bad. It could be a number of different things that are causing that. So we're just going to check along everything. Because you never know. Somebody may have knocked off another resistor, which means that we have to check every one of these resistors. Why don't you use Dave's meter with IR receiver to computer? Because I don't have an IR receiver to computer, and this doesn't have an IR thingy on it. So since this doesn't have an IR thingy, I can't attach it to the computer. You have to do the... Oh, I need to mute? 1 sec. All right, we have to talk shit about people, so I'll be right back. I don't trust muting this thing, so I'm going to take the battery out. Okay, that part is done. So now that we're done with that, with the business, we can go back to the show. So, I know if I hit mute, I'm going to hit the wrong button, and no, I take the batteries out. Okay, so, back to this pile of crap board. So we have to check at each point over here and fucking stop. God damn it. I need to get new shortcuts for... How do you disable shortcuts in Sumatra? I don't want any shortcuts. Get me away from shortcuts. No. It's not in advanced options, maybe? Oh, you're kidding me. You give me a notepad file? What? You gave me a notepad file. Oh, you're serious now. Yeah. What? A fucking notepad file. This is my advanced settings. Okay, shortcut. Ah, fuck it. We'll figure that out later. All right, so this. So we need PP5VSO, we need PP3V3SO, we need PP1V5SO on a resistor, and then we need to make sure that all these resistors are present here. P1V8S3P good, blah, and blah, and blah. Lots of resistors to check. Okay. This is where I wish I had a bigger, another screen that was 4K. I got to bring that thing from home because I got that nice big screen at home and I never use it. So R8166. Actually, wait a second. I know what it is. It's going to be this one. This is the pull-up resistor at the top. So PM Sleep S3L is what we use to get into an SO state. That's what turns on all the SO rails. And that's the pull-up resistor for this line, R8167. Let's check R8167 because that's going to be gone, I bet. R8167. And that's this thing over here. And tell me you're gone or nasty looking or something. And of course, no, you're pretty. Oh, it's pretty.
Jesus, dude. This Chloe person is here every other week.
3.3 on one side,
What are they doing with their laptop?
0.086 on the other. Sad. Okay, let's check the resistance of that resistor. Make sure it's 10K, which it probably will be. Let me check the resistance of it. Have you ever spent time reflowing PCHs? What is your success rate? If the PCH is bad, then it works for a short period. If there's corrosion under the PCH and that was the only problem, then it will work forever. And if the PCH is bad or there's something else wrong with it, then it won't work at all. Success rate depends on whether you're applying the proper solution to your problem. If you reflow a PCH because you have a blown backlight fuse, then obviously that's dumb. Look further to the left behind the CPU. Okay, so this is the CPU. What am I looking for, Miles? I trust Miles. Which resistor am I... This looks kind of nasty. That doesn't look very nice. We got to see what that's for later. Miles, what am I looking for? You said behind this, like... Oh, Look further to the left behind the CPU. It looks like the CPU is pulled off. Oh, you're just 4channing me now. Never mind. Dyer says that guy is miles ahead of the competition. I get drop frames. Call your ISP. There's nothing. What do you expect me to do about it? Not much I can do. Okay. There's nothing that I can do for you. I cannot save you. All right. To the left of the P-good chip in the clusterfuck of resistors. To the left of the P-good chip. Are you talking about this one? Because I think that's a no stuff. If you're talking about this one, I do believe that that's a no stuff over there. Oh, you're right. Time Warner is destroyed. Whoops. Yeah, Time Warner is only letting me stream at 2 megabit now. Jason, are you torrenting shit?
No.
You promise?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jason just said that he's torrenting shit, so.
Are you lagging?
Yeah, it's only letting me stream at 2 megabit now. Piece of shit. Alright, so now everything's gonna look like shit. By the way, for those of you that don't know, I'm expecting that my internet drop off randomly just because it sucks. So I'm recording these in high quality and then uploading the high quality encode to VidMe to watch later because, yeah, because I can't trust Time Warner. Don't blame your viewers. I will blame the viewers. I will blame all of the viewers. I'll blame all 538 of you for hacking my internets and DDoSing me. I bet one of you are DDoSing me. Anyway, so back to a Time Warner friendly bitrate. Okay, so Time Warner doesn't even want to let me do 3 megabit. What? Seriously? Okay. Let's see. So now you're just going to see a blob. Now it's going to be 1500 kilobit per second. So you're going to see a blob. Yeah, this is 20. So with 20 megabit up, I can't stream at 3 megabit per second. At 20 megabit per second up at $409 a month, I can't stream at 3 megabit a second. Yeah, that probably looks like a pixel to you. That's okay. So at least we don't get drop frames anymore. All right, so down at 1500 is it? The Daily Blobs is Carpet Zoltan. Hell. I could move the store. I heard you were a fan of AVE. I work for him. Cool dude. AVE is the guy that screams at the camera. I like that. Okay. I could move the store, but then instead of paying like $45 a month, I'd be paying like $30,000. Thank you to Richard Johnson. Okay, so anyway, so this resistor I do believe does not have to be there. This is a no stuffed. but I'll just double check and make sure that I'm not being an idiot. That's R8162. And R8162, which... Alright, yeah, you're part of a you're part of the circuit that... Yeah, that resistor that's missing goes to a chip that's no stuff on this board. Sue Time Warner for breach of contract. Do people understand what it means to sue? Like, to sue means to hire an attorney. To sue means to go to file paperwork. To sue means to go to court. To sue means to wait for hours in court. To sue means that after all that, you can lose. Like, you lose a lot of money suing people. The super chat thing is stupid. I don't mind what Johnson said, but the idea of buying voice goes strongly against my idea of free speech. I'm pretty sure your idea of free speech has nothing to do with the actual idea of free speech. Yeah. So there's this whole concept of like free speech, which is you're allowed to speak on your own platform. But there's no such thing as guaranteed freedom of speech on other platforms. And the pretty interesting thing is that you actually have freedom of speech on this platform. Even though the freedom of speech does not, I guess the concept of freedom of speech does not extend to private platforms. It actually does. And yet you're still complaining about it, which is pretty odd to me. Like, for example, I have freedom of speech. So that means from my newspaper, from my website, from my house, I can say that I think somebody's a piece of crap. But I don't have the freedom of speech to walk into your house and then say, you're a piece of crap. You have the right to kick me out. That's not a violation of free speech. That is, property rights, so on and so forth. So if YouTube wanted to say, you're not allowed to speak, believe it or not, that's actually free speech. But nobody talks about those things. Anyway, back here. So why the hell is Ulysses power good low? So it seems like my cluster of resistors is here, and I'm going to measure them just to be a masochist. I'm going to measure these all to be a masochist. So I know that these are all going to be 100. I know they're all going to be 100. But I'm going to measure them anyway, because I just like wasting time. And maybe by the time I'm done wasting time, my bandwidth will be back, and I can have a proper stream. So... I don't mean free speech like freedom. I mean free like no money. Facepalm. Yes, as in the no money that you've spent for the other 900 how-to board repair videos. I'm sorry. Have you been paying for my advice here? Like, have you been paying to figure out how the clock circuit works? Did you ever pay to figure out how the one-wire circuit works? Did you ever pay to learn about VCCIO versus Vcore? Did you ever pay to figure out how the feedback circuit and the LED driver works? I don't think so. But some people just want to find reasons to bitch about literally everything, like just for the sake of complaining. And there's not much you can do about that, except kind of laugh and move on with your life. So, has your subscription to Women's Day started arriving yet? It has not. No, and I hope it never does. I hope the post office steals it and throws it away in violation of federal law. Show the meter, please. I can't show the meter because it broke. I'm sorry. So I'm going to measure these and I'm going to read out the values. Okay, so the first one of these resistors, R8168. Where is R8168? Hello. Give me R8. Where are you? Up here? Fuck. All right, I'm going to search manually. R8168. R8164. R8165. And they're all in random locations across the motherboard. Great. Okay, so R8168 is over here. Perfect luck for me. Right under here. And you're going to be 100 ohms, of course. And of course you're 100 ohms. Of course you're 100 ohms. Of course you're 100 ohms. Oh my God, I'm getting ripped here. Yes. Welcome to two-way communication. That's called freedom of speech, baby. That's called freedom of speech. The freedom to rip. Speaking of rip, I think I drank this blueberry thing a little too fast. It's a good thing that you can only see and hear me here. Oh, man. Okay. Continuing. Look in the area around R1441. Not R1441, but the area around it. Now, that's some advice I can go with. All right, so R1441. Where are you, baby? R1441 and the area around it. Okay, does Miles have good advice? Does Miles have some good advice here, or is this going to be a waste? One way to see. Placed in timeout that's either automated or a mod is trolling your chat. I am offended with your free speech. I am offended by your free speech as well. And I will use pepper spray to end it. Antifa! I'm actually going to California soon on a vacation. And I told somebody, like, they're like, what do you want to see while you're here? And I said, I want to get punched in the face by Antifa. It's like, I can't say that, it's, you go to Italy, you want to see the Vatican, you want to, to go on a boat ride, you go to France, you see the Eiffel Tower, you go to New York, you want to see a Broadway show, and and if you're going to go to Berkeley, you want to get punched in the face or pepper sprayed by Antifa. I mean, I have to bring some goggles there, but I would consider it a badge of honor to get punched in the face by Antifa while I'm in California. I think that would be fun. Getting into a fight with Antifa would be like that. I have to come home with that as part of my vacation, like having defended myself against part of the anti-free speech mafia, whatever the hell it is. Anyway, so let's look at what Miles said. So we got these three capacitors. Okay, so this resistor is going to be right next to these three capacitors. So I got to find those three capacitors. So we got those three. And now that little resistor that Miles talked about is, holy crap! Miles, you're a fucking genius, man. You're a fucking genius. You found it. What the hell is this? Oh, man. So Miles figured it out. Miles, if you weren't already a mod, I would make you a mod, because there's nothing that you deserve more for solving my board and making me money than an unpaid job deleting cancerous comments from my chat. Only a New Yorker would want to come to California and get assaulted by Antifa. It would be a badge of honor to have somebody from Antifa try to punch me. I think that would be fun. I think that may be fun. That would be like a badge of honor. Okay. So, somebody should buy Miles Blakely a beer. How come the view count is so low an hour into a stream? Because this is pretty boring. I mean, maybe we're in different worlds, but to most people, this is boring ass shit. I mean, for me, it's fun. But, to Jess, it's fun. But for me, this is, it's boring. Okay, so one of these resistors that's ripped off is a pull-down resistor, as you can see here. So this is a pull-down resistor for LCD PSR enable, which is completely useless. That's not going to affect us at all. And the other one here is R1677 is for an I squared C line. Hello, R1677. Okay, you're important. You are a pull-up resistor for PCH, I2C, SCL, you an I squared C line, or an SM bus line, or both. What do you do? You're for, what is this section for? I have no idea. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is a bit, I don't know if that's for anything, but I think we should reconnect it. I think we should definitely reconnect it. Let's see, maybe I gave Miles credit too soon. Maybe Miles just knocked those off so we could take credit for putting them back on. That's always possible. This iron has no thermal mass at all. I got to put the tip back on that I like. Okay. At some point, it was more than 1,200 people on YouTube only. I guess they probably found something better to do. I don't know. But yeah, we're getting down to Eli numbers here. 526 watching. We're down to Eli numbers. that bit rate. Let's see. Can I move my bit rate back up, or am I going to get owned if I move bit rate back up? Let's see. I'm at 1500 kilobit. Okay, I'm going to be a brave man and try 5500 kilobit. Ready? 1, 2. Okay. And time, you can do it. Go, Time Warner. Yeah. No more drops. Awesome. Winner. Okay, so it looks like I can stream at a somewhat respectable bit rate. It's good to watch Lewis work because then you also get to learn about free speech. Yep. Let's put that resistor back where it belongs. Let's punch a resistor. Okay, we have punched the resistor. Let's punch that fascist fucking resistor right in its face. Okay. What the hell am I doing with this soldering iron tip? This is like useful for long screw and nothing else. Useless shit. You're also missing a resistor that's near the chip you were just on. If you give me a number, that's awesome. If you give me near the chip I was just on, that could mean anything. Like the chip. The chip. Okay. Let's move it back into place. Cease your resistance. Yeah, this resistor is doing a little bit too much resisting. Always rebel, never resist. Or at the very least induct, but don't resist. I would induct. I would capacitate. I would block in one way but allow through the other, but I'm not really much for resisting. If I was a surface mount component, I would boost, I would lower. But no resisting. Now let's put the useless pull-down resistor on the LCD line. Which I just lost on the donor. Next. You get to learn about his obsession with being punched in the face by Antifa. Yeah, that was something. It's like, so what would you like to do while you're here? And my first response was, I want to get punched in the face by Antifa. Oh, man. Right above to the right, looks like one is missing. That's a chip, but that's a no stuff chip, so that's not supposed to be there. You got a certified pre-owned. Should probably put another one on after because that doesn't look so beautiful. Yes! Miles is right. Miles got it. Look at that. It's going to do on, off, on, off, on, off, on for its... it's going to do that for the RTC reset, and it'll be done soon. a spinning fan. The only pull-up resistor that Lewis needs in his life is a weight vest, hashtag swole. At least I don't need my DC 12 volt to 9 volt converter since my multimeter's dead. There you go. Miles Blakely fixed the board. Did I just say Miles Davis? Could use a mostly functioning A1286 for parts. We don't fix those much anymore. Very few people bring it in. Internet Monkey says, I think Miles should get a cut for the repair. Dyer says, why would you stab the guy that helped you solve the problem? That's no proper way to say thank you. I wish you could have seen this A1502 MacBook Air this kid brought to work today with the touchpad flex and USB ripped out because he did not know how to open it. I don't think you mean A1502. I think you mean A1534. Do you mean the 12-inch? Because yeah, I've had people, they bring me the 12-inch, they opened it, and they didn't know that there's a cable in there that if you take the cover off, it's attached to the both sides. And this one guy scotch taped it back together. I sold him a GTF ball. He scotch tapes it. Awful. Absolutely awful. But look at that fan. Spinning. I totally told Miles in a private message what the issue was. So Chris should get a cut as well as Miles. That's a lot of stabbing. It's quite a bit of stabbing. So what's next? Oh, you mean I have to do more work? I don't want to do more work. I guess I have to. We could put the camera chip back on. No, fuck that. No. This board is going to go to somebody that has a tape over their webcam. There's nothing better than having U3900 be bad on the board and be shorted and keeping it from turning on, and then looking at the person's machine and seeing that they have tape over the webcam. Because it's great, because then I could tell them, hey, what if I told you that I could take the tape off your webcam and the NSA would never be able to see you? Oh, that would be great. Oh, that's great, because I don't want to replace U3900 either. That's fucking great. I think that works out great. All right, so let's put this back where it belongs. Hit the mute button. That's not mute. I wonder if Lewis would mind if he sent his laptop to for repairs into Lenovo and some of the ports or peripherals no longer worked. Oh well. I learned my lesson with Thunderbolt, really. Dropping frames again. Oh, yeah. Torrenting?
What a booby trap. What was that?
Torrenting?
No? Why?
I can't. I have a 2 megabit upload now.
No.
Can you call Time Warner and fuck them up?
Yeah, listen, I mean, we should be happy that we have internet. Remember just a day or two
Oh, yeah, a day or two ago, there was no internet at all.
So now they tell them.
By the grace of God, they decided to give us internet. Yeah, piece of shit. Just tell the customer the CIA killed his webcam chip because he had tape over the camera. Mm-hmm. First thing to do is make sure this did not fix itself in the slot, because believe it or not, that does happen. All right, move the board and get onto it. You should bring your cat with you and place it in the empty chair while you're out. I'm afraid of that because my kitty likes to go right next to me on the chair, and I can just see myself taking the iron and going, like, yep, let's just get rid of that solder, and a little piece of solder going right in his eye. I couldn't live with that. Poor kitty. Oh, man. So this is a dead A1502 Retina with a 8203476 board. And a couple of melted plastic things on the connectors. Which means I wasn't the first one here. Oh. I like being the first one there. This sucks. You charge people full rate when you cannot absolutely fix everything. It depends on the case. It's case dependent. It's case dependent and also dependent on what not fix all the way is. Like not fix all the way to the point where you can't use your integrated Intel graphics, maybe. If it's like halfway fixed where you can't use Thunderbolt on something you're cat pissed on, take it or leave it. For ISPs, the best way to get issues fixed is to take up as much of the time of the CSR as possible. Their goal is less to solve the issue and more to get you off the phone as fast as possible. I agree with you. The only problem with that approach is it's like a game of chicken. Like whose time is worth less, theirs or mine. So if I spend 2 or 4 hours on the phone with them, what could I have done during that time? And could what I've done during that time make me more than what I got back from the ISP? The board looks nice and clean, which means this is going to suck. All right, now let's see if once everything's unplugged, if it decides to magically turn itself on. It's dead. And I can see that this is one of those assholes that uses a marker to put an X on every single chip so they can see which chip it is I replaced. And just because they decided to be an asshole about it, instead of asking nicely, and I would have totally recorded the video for free of the entire repair, I'm going to put an X on every single chip that I replace so that they don't know. I don't know. Stuff like that pisses me off. It's like, because when you do that, you're pretty much saying, I am assuming you're a scammer that's going to steal my parts. Like, there's literally an X on every single part of this. There's an X on the battery, an X on the Wi-Fi card, an X on the I.O. board, an X on the keyboard. And on top of that, all these little connectors are melted. I don't even work on shit that people have screwed with before. And I'm doing that. And the thanks I get is that you're like telling me that I'm a thief. Because that's what this is. Like, when you have these little markers and everything, what you're saying is, I don't believe that you're not. I believe that my used, crusty-ass, 4-year-old liquid damaged battery is worth more than your dignity and ethics. And when that's the case, it's just a big fuck you. It's like, no. Anyway, so we're going to spend much less time on this board than we would on anything else, because I don't put effort into devices where people assume that I'm a thief. So let's do a couple of quick measurements and then move on to the next device. So we are going to do a very, very, very quick estimate here, and then move the fuck on to people that don't think we're thieves. So we get a light on the charger, as you can see here. So we have a light, which means PP3V42 is present. We're going to measure for PP bus G3 hot, which is the next rail that has to show up. And that shows up. We're going to check for PPV RTC G3 hot, which has to be present. And that shows up. We're going to check for PP5VS5, and that shows up. And we're going to check and see if PP5VS4RS3 shows up. And if that doesn't show up, then we are going to move onto the next device with prejudice. Because, yeah. Next, okay. Open up for 3476. Calibrate the microscope. It's too... Yeah, the light is off, silly. The light is off. Everyone knows if you want to mark each part, you need to use a Pepe instead of an X. Yeah. All right, so where is PP5V S4RS3 on here? PP5V, 5V, S4RS3. Oh, no, on this one it's just PP5V-S4. All right, so let's see. PP5V-S4. Where would I find that? I want a place that's something that's obvious. All right, so I'm pin 2 over here. So let's find that. Require him to buy YouTube Experience due to trust issues. Yeah, Jess is joking. Jess has this idea of charging people $100 to be a part of the viewing experience for your repair. I charge nothing. I will happily put the video of the repair up here for free as long as it wasn't something you screwed with beforehand. But the one thing that pisses me off is when people do that, oh yeah, you must be a thief thing. Again, like, yeah, that's what I really want. I want your liquid damaged 4-year-old battery. Like that's what I opened a store for. I opened a store and I hired 4 people. And I pay like $20,000 to $30,000 a month in expenses, so I can steal your liquid damaged battery and your Wi-Fi card that's worth $5 and sell it on eBay. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with people? What the fuck is wrong with people? And you can see that somebody did some soldering in this area. Actually, you can see there was a lot of soldering in this area. So you can see that this was fucked with poorly. That has residue, so yeah, so we're going to make one measurement, and if that's not here, and hey, PP5VS4 is not here, which means I'm moving on to somebody who's not a jackass. Don't lie to me, fucker, about whether it's been worked on before. Bye-bye. Next. Yeah, this is one of those boards that's going to be missing PM Sleep S4L, and fuck that. No, not fixing your mess. You started it, you finish it. Oh, phone. Okay. Next. Let's grab another one from the pile and be right back. All right, next machine that is dead, a MacBook Air. Let's open this one and hopefully no fuckery. You should replace all the X's with O's and play tic-tac-toe on the board. That's a good idea. You shouldn't be offended with the X's. You're an honest and good guy, but there are scammers out there. You should respect the guy's effort to protect his property. No, I don't respect liars. If we ask, has this been worked on before, and they say no, and then I see a bunch of solder on the board and evidence that you opened it and ripped plastic connectors, no, I don't respect you. I don't respect people who lie. Because it's one of those things where it's like, to be exploited, you have to be willing to exploit others. So he thinks that I'm going to exploit him by stealing his stuff. He thinks that I'm dishonest. He or she, I didn't look at the name. But and why would somebody think that? Why would somebody come in with that paranoia of you are dishonest? It must be because they are dishonest themselves. And what do you know? Has this been worked on before? No. Open it up, ripped connector by the trackpad, burned connector by the trackpad area, burned connector by the screen area, and poor soldering in the PP5E area. It's like, no, I don't know. Absolutely not. There's way too much stuff here to deal with that crap. I like honest relationships. Oh, God. Can we go back to the other one? I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. Look at this.
What a trap this thing is.
Oh wow.
Wait, just give me my HDMI extensions. I know Veneer threw it away.
No, really, where is it?
It came. Look at Amazon. It should have came in the mail because I need that so I can make that cable longer. See, I told you. You just stole
He
it.
knows then.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna keep tripping over that until you give me the HDMI extension.
Here, put them over here.
Lies.
It's in a little bag. I'll find them.
All I have is that charger for the machine that has to get sold. All right. Well, before I unscrew it, I'll just show you what it looks like here. Okay. Oh. Bleh. Hi, JTAG. Hey, JTAG. What's going on, Mr. JTAG connector? It's pretty nasty. Will you repair my MCP79 on stream? No comment. YouTube experience means interacting with customer during repair. I don't want to interact with people. I don't want to interact with people. Okay, let's get the screws out of this thing. This is gross.
Yeah, I was here when I was teaching.
When I find it, I'll take that wire down. Oh, this is gross. Fuck did you spill on this? This is probably vomit. I have a feeling this is vomit. If I had a guess, this is bodily fluid. Oh boy. Ugh. Alright. Let's get the screws out of this a little quicker. Choppy here. Yep, thank Time Warner. 14,000 drop frames in one stream. At 25 kilobit per second. It's interesting because I had the plan that was like 179 a month, which was 3 megabit up, and I paid 409 to get the 20 megabit up, thinking I'd be able to stream. So that's like, so I might as well go back to my old plan. The funny thing is that they're going to try to charge me that $14,000 cancellation fee if I go back to the old plan. That's the sad part. There's no winning with internet in New York City unless you got Fios. I wish Fios would come here. Is that even possible to fix? Absolutely. Why do you need that much bandwidth? Because 3 megabit streams look like shit. Because at 3 megabit up, I'd have to stream at 2 megabit. And 2 megabit, as you can see, looks like crap. However, if you pay for the 20 and you can't even get 4, then you kind of... You can get out of a cancellation fee if they're unable to meet the performance advised. Yeah, but how do you prove that without suing? That's a lot of time in court. Okay. Oh man, it's stuck. It's fucking stuck.
Yeah.
I can't...
For data, for hard drives, when you get like liquid damage drives that you need, right?
Dude, I can't get this out of...
Guess
Come
how
on.
much the fluid they use costs? No, sorry. Yeah.
Hmm.
Goes in a gallon. Yeah. Every time you fill up the ultrasonic cleaning, that's how much it costs. Yeah.
Smell it. No. This is not the 3476. No, we moved on from that one. Okay. Lower bit rates doing a 2-pass in code can improve quality, though it is demanding on the CPU. Even at 1 pass, I can go to medium, but it'll still look like shit. And use a decent amount of CPU. Ugh. Gross. Some really strange channel suggested your video. What strange channel? There are strange channels that suggest my stuff? Huh. Who would suggest this boring content? If that board opened a store, it would be called Grocery. Good one. Okay, we're going to turn this video into a Crest advertisement. We're going to turn this video into a Crest advertisement. So this is one of the very few times where I'm going to clean it before I touch it. Because this is fucking disgusting. All right. This is just beyond nasty. So I'm going to ultrasonically clean this, and I'll be back right after this break. So we're going to toss it in the cleaner. And it's going to get cleaned. And I will be back. We'll be back very shortly. This is pretty gross. That's one disgusting ass board. I know I usually say I want to keep the hints on the board, so I work on the board before I ultrasonic it, but I mean, it's everywhere. It's like the entire thing is covered. If you see it, you won't be able to unsee it, just a warning. Okay, so maybe I won't. So, yeah, I'm going to be an ass and include a commercial break, and I'll be right back after the ultrasonic. Time to turn the board around. Yuck. Zzz. All right, wait for it to clean. Really, it makes that much noise? Yep, it's annoying. It's incredibly annoying. You want, I can do this. Here, I'll be nice. 1, 2, better. There you go. So that should cut out the ultrasonic a little. Don't bitch about the ASMR. What's wrong with ASMR? Hi. It's me. Motherboard. Stabber! Nah, fuck it. I should make an ASMR. There's so many things that I should be doing. I should be destroying this stuff. I should be knifing it. I should be making like a... Hi. It's me. 820-3437 with corrosion. I'd be rich. Shit, fuck retiring at 34. I'd be retired like tomorrow. Hi. It's me. Another shitty Apple product with no liquid proofing. 20 years into designing laptops. Hi. It's me. Okay. Let's get this thing out of the alcohol. I'll dry it in the air filter for a few. In the oven for a little later. And see what happens there. The ultrasonic needs to turn the reverb to 17 for ASMR. Yep. Down back to 1500 kilobit per second. Damn, Time Warner can't even keep up at 3 megabit. Alright, so we're going to wait for the board to dry. Okay. I have a MacBook Pro 2011. It's calf damaged with a lot of sugar. Is there any hope it can be fixed? There's always hope. There's always hope. No guarantees, but there's always hope. All right. Now in the oven for a few. I put it up to 220 degrees. And in a few minutes, we should be able to look and see if that is fixable. Maybe try a different Twitch server. Oh, it's both. It's Twitch and YouTube. It's just crappy Time Warner. All right, so we're going to wait for it to dry. And after it dries, hopefully it winds up being fixable. Where can I get a new battery for my MacBook Pro? The internet. Boring. I should download porn right now to kill time. But I can't because no internet. Yawn. Anyone who does that to a laptop shouldn't be allowed to own one. Yeah, I don't get why people don't treat their stuff a little nicer. People should treat their stuff a little nicer. Why don't you dump Time Warner? Because the choice is this or Verizon, and Verizon DSL is a guaranteed 0.7 megabit per second up. Not 7, 0.7. That is some 20th century thing there. When are you going to get a professional desk and tools? Years ago. So professional is a word that means can get things done to a high level of quality consistently. And these tools on this desk gets a lot done to a high level of quality consistently. And when you compare and contrast it to companies that have 5 people doing this, I would even dare say that we get more done than people that have 5 people doing this with 1 person. So this is professional. Now, if you're one of those people whose definition of professional is like whatever I want it to be, whatever, then it's never going to be professional because everybody has their idea of what things should be, and frankly, that's completely fucking irrelevant. But professional should always be considered what gets the job done to a consistent high level of quality. But yeah, it's one of those just nonsense words. What do you think about Windows 10 Mobile in the enterprise? I'm not a fan of Windows 10. Just pay for FiOS. I can't. If I'm across the street, I can pay for FiOS, but here you can't because they don't offer FiOS on this side of the block. So if you're on First Avenue between 11th and 12th Street, no FiOS for you. FiOS over there, FiOS over there, FiOS over there, FiOS over there. No FiOS over here. And every time I see that guy with his little van where he's like advertising FiOS and he's like, you got to get FiOS, I want to Hulk him and just tip the van over. Because that's an asshole thing to do, man. Don't be advertising FiOS 2 blocks down when you're not going to bring it to the store.
The guy wanted someone to stay late. I don't even have a train tonight. I think.
Thought you would have an opinion on how big business is trying to kill your business in New York. Why do you have these big speakers in your office? I like them in my office. What's the point of doing all this work to have your own office if you can't have phase coherent speakers that go down to 12 hertz? I mean, oh man. Okay, so now the board is clean, but the problem is it's so hot that I can't plug it into test because everything will burn. So now I'm just going to cool it off in the air filter for a moment. Cool it off in the air filter and continue. Split stream a mobile phone to get more bandwidth. I should just stream off the phone. I'm not kidding. When I stream off my phone, I can do 3.5 megabit just steady, no drops. I did a stream for an hour the other day from my phone. USB tethering, 0 drops. $400 a month internet connection, drop, 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 drop. Piece of shit. So we're going to cool off that board, and you're going to see what the Crest was able to do to it. And the Crest is pretty impressive. The Crest can do quite a bit. Check out Jim Williams, and you will see that you don't have to need to be best. Are you talking about that guy in what part of California? Crap, I forgot. There's this one guy that does all these amazing mods to Delta consoles. He had all these great mods for the piece of crap Trident 80B. What a piece of shit that console was. He makes all this amazing audio equipment. His name is Jim Williams. But there's a lot of people named Jim Williams, so I'm just kind of curious if we're thinking of the same person there. Okay, so you want to see what... So this is my advertisement for the CP500D. Shameless. I'm a shameless asshole. All right, so this is what it looks like after the cleaning process with the distilled water and the Branson EC. Okay. What do we have here? Hey. A little less cancerous. Okay, we still got the pubes. All right, let me just get... I should take this... Yeah, we got some pubes here. But I can deal with pubes. Pubes is not awful. Well, use the flux you sell work well for wires and switches. It will. I mean, honestly, if you're just doing wires and switches, you probably don't even need to buy this. You would just need to get some solder that has a really good flux core. You probably shouldn't, if honestly, if you're only doing wires and switches, you probably don't need to waste money on my flux, or any flux for that matter. I would just get some solder that has a really good flux core. But yeah, this is pretty nice. Hey, look, even the fucking JTAG is looking clean. I mean, ka-ching. My subwoofer hugs you for excellent sound management. Yeah, I try to get rid of the low, because I know that if I bump something, that's annoying when you have your subwoofer on, you have the bass turned up, and then you listen to some regular stuff. And all right, so as you can see, this capacitor probably has got to get repealed. PP3V42 looks a little nasty, which means that I can expect that my SMC reset area look a little nasty, because that's run off PP3V42, which means my SMC is probably going to be a... please don't be dead, little SMC. But yeah, I gotta say, I mean, honestly, this doesn't even look like the same board anymore. See, this is why it's worth it for me to deal with crests insanely. It's so funny, because like, there's a crest order I placed on April 7th. I got a tracking notification. I'm not kidding. I got a tracking notification for it 5 days ago. April 7th. And the notification says that it shipped with no tracking info. It's one of those things where if their cleaners were not this good, I would have told them the GTFO a long time ago. But their stuff is really fucking good. Yeah, you know, they may not know how to like print a label or keep inventory or like answer the phone or any of that shit, but their cleaners are pretty fucking kick-ass. That cap is there. Not a lot of... it's probably good, but I'm not going to leave it on the board. What is all this? Mm-hmm. You know what? I think this may actually just turn on. I think this may just turn on. You know what? And I'm gonna plug it in and see. Let's see if we get Vcore. Let's see if we get Vcore. Give the dirt back to your customer and add some rat shit. Okay, so we have a light on the charger. Holy crap. So the PP3V42 circuit over here is actually working. Now the next part is this thing turning on? Now I don't... So yeah, and you know how we're going to test that, right? You know how we test that here, right? I mean, you know by now, realistically speaking. Like, I'm not... This is what we do. This is what we do. So, 1, 2... Oh my god. Will this have fixed itself just with cleaning? I think this may have just fixed itself with nothing but cleaning. Look at this. Alright, we're going to plug this in. And this is some magic here. Tell me you spin. Wow. That's insane. Come on. RTC reset. On, off, on, off, on, off. Very good. So on, off, then on. This board only needed... Wow. I mean, I still got to replace some shit. I'm not going to leave it like this. It's going to die in a month. But damn! Crest is killing it. Look at that. That is... And people are like, I can't believe you spent over $900 on an ultrasonic cleaning. Yeah. This is why. This is why. That shit pays for itself, man. You want to put this shit into a $100 jewelry cleaner and see what comes out of it? It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Alrighty. So the first thing to do is, even though this regulator is working, I'm repealing and replacing it, because that pin ain't trustworthy. Can't trust these PP3V42 regulators. Look at... Yeah, this is... No. Does this work? Yes. Am I going to keep it there? No. So we're just going to do a little bit of trying to make it perfect. And as what always occurs in this process will occur here, as I try to make it perfect, it will be dead. That is what always happens. So we are going to make this as good as we can. So let's just bleh. Just repeal and replace some things over here. Going Paul Ryan on the regulator, says Biela. Yeah. Don't call me Paul Ryan. Mofo. I don't know why the hell that guy is still the speaker. Okay. I always wonder how the boards get dry after cleaning. First I put them in alcohol, and after they go in the alcohol, they go in the oven at 300 Fahrenheit for a few minutes, and that dries it off. How often do you replace the water in the crest? Once I can't see it anymore. Like once I'm at a point where if I put a board in it, I can't see it. I gotta find that cap since it's hiding now. Mofo. Does the ultrasonic cleaner get gunked up after having a board like that in there? It does, but a lot of the crap falls to the bottom. So I'm gonna put my larger iron back on with the larger tip. I need to use a larger tip. I have a larger tip, which is more than can be said for Paul Ryan. So let's get my larger tip on here. Don't forget to put a cross in the replacement. I'd rather see Trey as the speaker. Oh, me too. Come on, give us Trey Gowdy as Speaker of the House. That would be good. Goddamn beeping! Yes, it is annoying. Reports of explosions at UK Ariana Grande concert. What? Explosions? What type of explosions? What are you talking about? Oh man, that is some bad news. That is fucked. I'm so sorry for those people. Oh, Wales, don't say that. You'll get in trouble now. The BBC is going to report you to your boss. Don't say that. Do you want the BBC to report you to your boss, man? Oh, okay. That is fucked. I'm really sorry for the people who were injured or hurt. You hear that Ford fired their CEO? I didn't, but I also can't confirm that that's true while I'm cleaning a motherboard. I didn't hear about that. $20 people. Fuck. That is awful. Ah, there's a hair in this. I just broke the cardinal rule of wicking, which is not to remove the solder iron before you remove the wick. I can see Jess's face cringing already. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. See you later, David B. What the? Come on. Gotta make contact with the board now. All right. Okay. Let's get a regulator on. I've used every one. Interesting. Never mind. Got one here. Found one here. By the way, if you ever want to buy this stuff, let's just continue shilling. Let's chill a little bit. You could look up your board. And hey, look. 3PP3V42 regulator right here. It automatically pops up. It gives you a picture of what you're getting. You can match it to the component that you took off the board. And it tells you every single model motherboard that it works on. And it tells you how many are in stock. You can go components by type, power circuit, and buy it. You can browse by device, to MacBook Air 13-inch, to the year of yours, to the board itself. Look at that. Look at that. And this website is so good that it even loads in a Time Warner connection while streaming, which is surprising, very surprising. All right, shilling is over. Now back to this. Now let's get a chip and a capacitor set and put it on the board. For those talking about discussion of the whatever the hell happened in Manchester at the moment, I don't mind if you talk. I like to see this as a room. So if there's a bunch of people in the room, if let's say there's a bunch of people in the room and we're talking about philosophy, and then somebody comes in and tries to sell you a car, and nobody needs a car, that's kind of annoying. That person can kind of fuck off if they're just soliciting. But if you're sitting in a room talking about philosophy or whatever, something else, and then you see on TV that 20 people just died, the focus or the shift of the conversation may go to that horrible news in the TV, and I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that so long as people behave themselves. Again, if you were at school and there was a TV on in the hallway that said that there was something terrible that happens, I don't think they would say, no, you have to wait for class, it's over. That's, I don't know. I do feel bad for what happened. That does sound like a terrible tragedy. What is Trump doing in Saudi Arabia? He's doing the thing that people who didn't vote for Hillary voted for him for because they didn't want Hillary to do it, but now he's doing it, so... Yep. Would have been nice to have seen Rand Paul win. But he had no chance in the primary. No charisma. He needs some you need some charisma. And sadly, I like Ron Paul. I even like Rand Paul, even though he's half his dad. But, man, no charisma. I don't need charisma. I don't care about charisma. But the regular people do. They need some charisma. Right. Capacitator. Really, this donor board is missing all the little pieces that I want? We'll just go to another. And the other one is missing them, so we'll go to another yet again. Remove the coil because it's always the coil. clean this up a little. That is known as the deep state, says Citizen. I think no, I don't know if it was this. One of the worst election cycles was sometime in the 1800s. And I forget the guy's name because it's late and I'm tired, but there was this one dude, it was his friend or his coworker died, and the coworker said, "Can you look after my daughter?" So he looks after the daughter by marrying her and impregnating her. So fucking creepy. It's sometime in the late 1800s. I forget all the names. Which president was this? It was him and somebody else who was just a complete scamming pile of shit that were running against one another. I would say that's one of the worst elections in American history. Fuck, who am I thinking of? It was... I'd know his face if I saw it, and I'd know the name if I read it, but it's not at the top of my head right now. Like, I know that this is U7090, but I don't know the guy's name from political history. But I'd know it if I saw it. Who am I thinking of? Late 1800s. Fuck. It'll come to me after the stream, I'm sure. In my opinion, because I like to follow history, but I never remember the names. But that was probably one of the worst elections in American history. So many people were like, how the hell did we get here? But I don't remember the name. I'll know when I read it. Grover Cleveland, that sounds familiar. I want to double check before I say yes, but I believe it was him. You think the Fed should be abolished? Absolutely, yes. There's a great book on this. I think it's called The Beast from Jekyll Island, or The Beast at Jekyll Island, something like that. You should read that book. If you read that book, there's a lot of good information in that book. Again, take everything you read with a grain of salt. Do your own research before you just blindly believe shit. But there's a lot. That book is an excellent starting point, I would say. An excellent starting point. Really? Mother... God damn it. Alright, that cap's gonna go. Yeah. Alright, let's get rid of all the old solder there. Lead-free be gone. Grover Cleveland was a bit of a creep. Bit of a creep. No, it wasn't Harding. Harding sucked at dealing with corruption in his own administration. Harding's administration was filled with shit. It was one of those... You ever have a teacher where you just know that you can... Like, you have your headphones on and you're doing homework for the other classes in class, and you know he's not dumb. You know that the teacher knows that you're not working on the stuff in his class, but he just never says anything to you? That was the type of president that Warren Harding was. He wasn't a retard. I mean, he knew that people were doing this fucked up shit. He just never particularly cared. Either that or he was willfully ignorant of a lot of fucked up things that were going on during his administration. Very willfully ignorant. The Creature from Jekyll Island, yes, that's the book. This is why I could never run for president. Because you know that moment that Johnson had where he's like, Aleppo, what? I would have that moment 15 times over. I could know what the place looked like. I could have spoken to people from there. I could have been born there. I'll forget the name of it. I'm just really bad with remembering things on the spot sometimes that are important. Yeah, but The Creature from Jekyll Island. I would suggest reading that book. As I said, you don't have to agree with what you read. You don't have to believe what you read. But it is a good starting point. So even if you disagree with what you read or you think it's not true, the research that you're going to do as a result of trying to disprove or prove whether it's true will lead you down a path of learning that I think is valuable. So I would highly suggest reading The Creature from Jekyll Island. Pretty interesting book. And the JTAG does have to go. I heard somebody mention Gestapo, which was my cue to destroy the JTAG connector. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't let, I would not let Grover Cleveland near Blackberry the cat. I'm just saying that I would not let him near my kitty cat. That guy, yeah. I feel like that was one of those moments where people look back in history and are like, how the fuck did this guy become president? Like, how the hell did we get Grover Cleveland? So we've definitely been at worst. I know people were like, Hillary and Trump, oh my... No, we've been through worse, and we survived it. No, just look at Grover Cleveland. No, there's been worse. No, you just weren't born yet, but there was quite a bit worse. Quite a bit worse. Yeah, this needs a little bit of repealing. This needs a little bit of repealing. Because keep in mind, I don't want any of these ceramic caps to wind up shorting later on, and then we have to take the board back and figure it all out again. Oh, the same person is complaining about moderation over and over. Lame. Let's... Hello, Paul. Good morning, Paul. How big are those components? Some of them are 0603, some of them are 0402, and some of them are 0101. Very few 0101s. Most of the 0101s are on the other side. So we're just going to do some brutish soldering over there. So what opinion? Oh, you're just crying. You're not really giving opinions. You're just whining over and over again, and it's wasting space in my chat. Bye-bye. I don't even know what your opinion was. I don't know what side you're on, but I don't even know like what side you're on. It's just every time I look at the screen, you're complaining, and it's just a waste of space. So you gotta go. I don't know I legit have no idea what you were talking about. But there's just nothing more. There's nothing more annoying than looking in a chat and just seeing crying and complaining over and over again. So you got to go. Again, I wish I knew what you were talking about. I don't even know what side you're on. I just see that you're complaining every time I look at the screen. And I can respond to an argument. I can respond to an idea or a question. But I can't respond to a constant complaint. So bye-bye. Okay, so let's put these components back on. Alright. Lewis, are you a fan of arming Saudi Arabia? No. 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 Me no likey no. No, 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 no. No. No, 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 No. 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 Dude, I feel bad for the people in Yemen. I really do. Like, they're just... There was some funeral. I forget if it was a funeral or a wake that was taking place. Just got bombed out of nowhere. Everybody just... It's fucked. Yeah. Not a lot of coverage of the whole, what Saudi Arabia does to Yemen. It's very sad. I really wish Ron Paul would have won in 2008 or 2012. We needed Ron Paul. I wish Ron Paul had the charisma necessary to win the minds and the hearts of the average voter so that he actually would have won. Man, because like, he had a fucking brain, man. He would have changed shit. Or at the very least, if he didn't change shit, somebody, you know, the CIA or somebody would have probably killed him as he tried to. Man! Why are JTAGs so bad? Because... I have many, many videos about that. Long story short, it's like getting shot in the head. When you get liquid on a JTAG, it's like being shot in the head. So I like to just get rid of them. Saudi Arabia is the #1 supporter of terrorism. Yep. People are going to laugh. Like, thousands of years from now, they're going to look back on this like, wait a second. Your foreign policy was so bad that you have to take your shoes off at the airport because if you don't take your shoes off at the airport, there could be bombs in them? Really? I mean, thousands of years from now, people are going to look back at this shit and they're just going to fucking laugh their ass off. Because that's the thing. When I think about a lot of these things, I think of it the way a student, like a 4th grade student, is going to look back on this in the year 3000. What is their first impression going to be? Because the first impression is the one that really lacks the bias and the propaganda. And they're going to just look back at this like, what the fuck were you all doing? Really, like, what the hell were you all doing? Okay, so it looks like this looks pretty good now. We're just going to look over the other side and make sure that it's still turning on. Hey, look at my PP3V42 regulator one. Gone. Okay. Thank you to Pato Pro. Did I just say Pato Pro on? Dude, you gotta change. What? Okay. You gotta change that nickname because the way that it's pronounced, Pato Pro, it's too close to Pato Pro. Yeah. I think I did. I really just say Pato Pro? I just did, didn't I? Note to self. Phonetically pronounce YouTube nickname in head before you say it out loud. Nothing will be here in 3000. Yeah, there's a chance of that. Back when... let's just confirm that our fan is still spinning, and if it is, I do believe that's a good note to leave on. 2 machines that look completely destroyed fixed on camera, and it is. So I can get out of here now. It's really getting muggy in my office. It's been raining all day. The humidity is awful in here. So I would like to take a nice walk home, get some exercise. Sitting in this chair gets old after a while. Might as well just clean this board off, read the rest of the comments, and then get out of here. We did it. Thank you to Miles Blakely for the first one. Got to give him props. And thanks to the Crest for the second one. So Miles Blakely won, Crest Ultrasonic won, Lewis shit. Lewis did nothing. I really didn't. Like, I ultrasonic this and it worked. Yeah, I mean, I did do some preventative maintenance, but let's face it, this would have worked just fine anyway. So just another run through the cleaner just to get rid of my flux. The idiot that you banned is leaving comments on my channel saying I'm a scam. So report him as spam. That's the thing. If enough people report this stupid shit on YouTube as spam, but the great thing is the algorithm is smart. They just stop showing up everywhere. So by all means, hit that report spam button. Jessa, Eli, TCRS, Chris Long, whoever's watching this that has their own channels, hit report spam on all the stupid shit. And then it goes away. Clean that fan. Just put one of your crests and now you only have one left. Should I show you the email that I got from Crest? Should I? Because people don't believe me when I say this stuff. Let's watch. Let's find this email that I got from Crest. What does the ultrasonic do to the board that it turns back on? It removes all the crap, but particularly it removes the crap that you can't see, the stuff that's underneath the actual chipset. Alright, so look at this. It said that my order has shipped. Just make sure there's nothing else on the screen here. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Ready? 1, 2. Your order has shipped Wednesday, May 17th. Your order was placed on April 7th, 2017. I repeat, that order was placed on April 7th, 2017. Here are your tracking numbers. Here are my tracking. I mean, like, this shit's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Do they make the best cleaners that I've ever used? I would say that Crest makes some of the best ultrasonic cleaners that you could buy at any price. And I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my bank account. I would say heart, but I don't love this thing. I just love that it makes me money. But yeah, the service leaves something to be desired. And they're really genuinely good cleaners. I mean, I wouldn't be selling this stuff if it was garbage, but... And they've got to be really fucking good for me to put up with this crap. But, yeah, good luck figuring out when you're getting any of this stuff. It's very painful. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I use Opera Mail because the spam filter and Thunderbolt... I've just come to accept that the Thunderbolt junk filter is never going to work. Like, for example, let's say I forget my password for a site, and then I hit password reset, or not even reset password. Let's say that I'm dealing with one of those websites where it wants to send me a code because it thinks I'm using a new computer. Let me just turn on the filter so the ultrasonic cleaner doesn't sound as annoying. So let's say I'm dealing with a site where they want to send me a code, right? So I'm dealing with a site that wants to send me a code, and I get it, and Thunderbird thinks it's spam. So I hit, no, not spam. You'd think after hitting this is not spam for 5 years on the same email and having adaptive junk controls that it would eventually learn that that's not spam. But no. The junk controls on Thunderbird are just shit. So I finally, after a long time, quit using it. I gave up. What happened to the red digital multimeter? It died. It died. I have no luck with this stuff, I'm telling you. That meter died today. So it's a month old and it's dead. Rest in pieces. Do you email tracking numbers when you ship flux orders from your website? Yes, and they always go to spam. There are a lot of people that say, I didn't get the email, and every time I get an email from somebody, every time I get an email saying, I didn't get an email ordering shit from your website, I take out my credit card, I buy shit on my website, I ship it, and then I get an email with tracking. So I really, like, I wish I could tell you what it was, but yeah, I don't know. All right, so we're about done. Hopefully you learned something from the first machine with the CPU Vcore Allsys power good thing. This wasn't the most sensible stream, but that's it for today. And as always, I hope you've learned something.